The gesture by Contreras pointing away said.
Are live and in full effect on a big Thursday evening. Here we go, getting the show started. We got big games, an even bigger game than the Thursday night football game to get into, and that of course is the season opener for the NHL, the Devils, and the Buffalo Sabres tomorrow, 1 p.m. in the Czech Republic. Come on. It probably is. I don't know. I'm talking out my ass right now. I don't know. No, it's going to be hostile, all right. Be real hostile. No, I think I thought it was because the last year they did Sweden in the Avicii Arena, which was amazing. Well, Avicii's no longer with us. Don't tell the guy that we saw at Magic Hour, but I think they named it after him after he passed. I think it was part of the whole thing. Yeah, I think she. Yeah. I think she did build her own joint. Yeah, no, but they had. It's an arena that's been there. Actually, you know what? I think I might be wrong about this, but I think it might be like the only other spherical arena in the world other than the Sphere, something like that. I could be wrong, but I feel like I remember reading about. Because when they did the games out there last year, I was reading about the venue where they were doing them, and I was like, oh shit, Avicii Arena. And then I read that they had named it after him after he passed, and I think it's also a Sphere like the Sphere in Vegas. But anyway, I'm joking, of course. Although I am excited about the NHL start of the season, we have a big Mets game tonight, do or die, win or go home against the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll be tapped into that. That is going on right now before we get into the Thursday night football. But shall we, before the Thursday night football starts, should we get into a parlay right now before the game starts, or what do you think? Well, let's just go where we go where the promos are, I think, right? Because I think we got. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that because I had meant to say I was going to tell you when we get off the stream. So remind me to tell you when we get off the stream. Because it wasn't about I don't think it's what you think it was. Why I said that. But anyway, we have a no sweat same game on FanDuel. I know that. DraftKings I think is only giving they might be giving a no sweat as well. Let's see. Yeah, we have a no sweat. We have a no. And we got a touchdown score boost. Do you have a touchdown score? Because I got one. Oh, that's live? Oh, yeah. Profit boost for any live TD score. Yeah, good call. Okay, so what I usually like to do if I have two no sweats, I usually like to do one no sweat, how I see the game with one team winning, and then I try to do the other one, how I see the game with the other team winning. That's usually the line I like to walk. That's usually my no sweat strategy. So like I'll go like whatever. I'll go like on DraftKings. I'll go Kirk Cousins 2 touchdown passes. Bijan Robinson 60 yards and Falcons money line or Falcons on the spread. Or I think I would probably try. I like to try to give myself a chance to win both, so I won't go complete contrasting picks. Like I won't pick money line on one and money line on the other, but I'll probably pick like Falcons money line on one, and then go like Tampa on the spread. Alt spread on the other one, so I could have a chance to try to find that ever elusive greedy middle. So anyway, I was just gonna ask you: Are you picking a side in this game or no? Or do you feel good about it either side? Oh shit! Wait. Let me make sure you're not fucking muted over here. Oh, you see that? You're not. Okay. Now you're not muted. All right, we're good. We're
Hello, hello,
back.
hello. Yes, we're back.
No, not on
Well,
your
I
end, on
should
my end, because I fucked up.
no, but I should have. I don't know if this matters, but I like my green box wasn't moving. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, or maybe it wasn't picking me up, or
You sound great. I always, because for whatever reason, the program that I use, I need to mute the audio during the. I need to mute the audio during the intro and during the wait screen, or else like people will hear us talking,
ah,
and I don't want to monitor what we're saying while that's on, so I just mute it.
yeah.
But then sometimes I forget to unmute it. But anyway, so no particular leans for you on this Thursday night.
No, man, this is a good game. I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like it's tough because for me, it's a game between a team I still don't know what they are in the Falcons and a team that I still don't trust in the Buccaneers.
Mm, interesting.
And my big question is, I just feel like the Buccaneers, excuse me, not the Buccaneers. I feel like the Falcons have yet to find it offensively.
But I think they kind of have, but I think it's just still like it's still not reliable.
I mean, you say they have, but they won their last game without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Yeah, I feel like they know what their identity is. Like whether or not they're able to, make it work, that's one thing. But it's like we all know Kyle Pitts isn't going to be involved. They do the split with, the like what I want to say it's what like 70-30 split like Algier Bijan and Algier because they do like specifically because of it, like being a defensive coach, I feel like th- they like Algier's style. But I
Well,
mean,
you
there's
say
not. I guess
70, you say 70-30 split. Last week against the New Orleans Saints, Tyler Algier had 8 carries and Bijan had 7.
oh wow, I
And
didn't think it
they
was.
won the game 26-24. Did not score an offensive touchdown. Had 2 defensive touchdowns, and the rest was all field goals. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
I stick to my statement that I feel like they
No,
still
no,
have not
no.
found their offense.
Yeah. I mean, I knew what you're saying. Like my thing was more like of like the type of like we're not gonna see something that we haven't seen already. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, because I think with Kirk Cousins, it's pretty straightforward. Just in general, it's not like there's not too many wrinkles that we're gonna see.
Yeah, but I just feel like they have not. Kirk Cousins has not found it yet.
Yeah.
If he's gonna find it this season, I feel like he has not found. Like what we've seen in the first 4 games of the season is not what we've seen from Kirk Cousins for the last like
Yeah.
5 years.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Like
he's still kind of shaking off the. I would because he did have it way later. What week was it in? Like week 8 that he had it? Because I mean, we're talking about two
week
months
8, he
later
was
than.
out by week 8 last year.
Oh, he was.
He
But I
tore
mean,
his
remember
Achilles.
that. No, I know, but I'm saying like I think he got it like he tore it like at least a month later than Aaron Rodgers did, because there was still that stuff about trying to trade for Kirk Cousins. Remember?
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's not hard to tear it after Aaron Rodgers did, unless you
Oh
tear it
yeah,
in the preseason. Yeah, of
or
course he teared it
before.
after Aaron Rodgers did, but no. So I'm looking. Yeah, last year he tore it. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, I guess it was either week 8 or week 9.
Yeah, you see, I'm not crazy like you want to just insinuate.
I'm not saying you're crazy.
No, no, you're just insinuating.
One, two, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So anyhow, I mean, this year so far he hasn't really been himself. I don't know if he's just I don't know if it's just a function of the offense he's in, or he's shaking off a rust, or a combination of the two, or maybe this is just what it is. I mean,
Who's the offensive coordinator?
who is the offensive coordinator? Didn't he drag somebody from L.A. over there with
Yeah,
him?
I'm assuming that probably like the run game coordinator or something like that, or pass game coordinator, or maybe it was the quarterbacks coach.
Zach Robinson.
Uh, I feel like he was the. Hmm.
Zach Robinson was named Atlanta Falcons offensive coordinator January 29, 2024. Robinson comes to Atlanta after spending 5 seasons with the Los Angeles Rams, where he served in a variety of roles, including quarterbacks passing game coordinator, assistant quarterbacks coach, and assistant wide receivers coach. So not
Wow.
exactly a big-time resume for old Zach Robinson.
A lot of Zachs from that Rams coaching tree. Zach Taylor was it? But I'm saying like it's a ZAC, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Zach
that's what I'm
Taylor was
saying.
on the Rams coaching track. I didn't even know that.
Yeah. He comes
Or
from
I didn't
that
remember
tree.
that. Yeah, I just know I don't care for Zach Taylor. But
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been telling Ronnie he's not a good coach for going on 5 years now.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. I mean, it's weird because last year I couldn't tell, like, the little bit of success that they were able to have after Joe Burrow went down. I wasn't sure who to give the credit for that. I didn't know if I was going to give Zach Taylor some flowers for them being able to be competitive and be in games after Burrow went down, or if I was going to say give them credit for Browning being a decent backup. I guess
Mm.
it's at the end of the day. I guess it's a combination of the two. But
You know,
I don't know.
they
I
just
still am not a Zach Taylor guy.
they they just showed the jankiest fucking OMG sign. Like I guess that somebody made in their house. It looked like somebody took a piece of foam and cut it out with like a an X-Acto knife, but like it kept getting stuck. It was-
How long is it going to be before Major League Baseball changes this first round postseason rules? I don't think that this is going to stay for another 2-3 years.
What do you mean about the long layoff or what?
I think about just the this whole three home games, because this is already how many years in a row that home field has meant nothing and the high seeds have
Yeah,
gotten knocked out. Like
yeah. Oh,
they lost the Dodgers last year. They lost the Astros this year. I just feel like at some point, I just don't think that this is gonna. I don't think this playoff format is gonna last that long. But that's just me.
mm. I mean,
Because you're gonna have too
do you
many
have,
people complaining, and like there's gonna be a rejiggering of the strategy at the end of the year. People are gonna put way less emphasis in trying to win divisions and shit like that.
but even that's a tricky game because it's like you saw how close everything was this year, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've already heard rumblings about baseball being upset with the way that the home field has not meant anything in the first round.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's on them because you get 3 games in a row at home. Yeah, that's crazy. Like that's double. That's going like above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, you say it's going above and beyond, but it's meant jack shit the last 2 years.
well, yeah, no, I understand, but it's just like okay, that it just means the better team is winning.
Does it? Were the Diamondbacks better than the Dodgers last year? I'm not sure. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, also the Dodgers. Come on, really? They've
What
won.
does that
They've
mean?
won.
What are you saying?
They've won one championship with all this money, and it was a COVID
Are the
championship.
Tigers
50
better
games.
than
Give me
the
a break.
Astros? Are the Tigers better than the Astros?
They've been playing better. I mean, in general, maybe not, but I mean, if we're talking about since June.
All right, you're just being difficult. I don't want to do this with you.
I know, but let's like for example, okay, the
I don't want to do this.
the
I don't wanna do
records.
this.
No. But what I'm saying is like, for example, like in the case of the Mets. All right, if you're doing it for the whole season, of course they're not the best team in the in the playoffs.
So then
But
what
if
are we
you're taking
talking
it
about
from,
then?
but I'm saying, but if we're doing since June, which is still leading up to now, they've been the best or second best team in the league since then. So at some point, that kind of has to take over, no?
No. Then what's the point of this season? What's the point of the game?
Well, that's something
what's the
totally
point of the
different.
games earlier in the season?
Oh, I mean, that's something totally different. Like my point is including that in that the whole length. Like we're talking about like how much shit can happen in half a year. You're talking about we're talking about more than half of a year. You know what I'm saying? Like a person's life can change dramatically in that time. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're shying away from the point. My
Oh.
original point was baseball is looking to change the format because the home teams are not being rewarded properly in their mind, having earned the home field and just having it
from
not
the
mean
beginning,
anything.
yes.
You're
I
telling me
understand.
that it doesn't matter because the teams that are winning are better than the other teams. They're not better than the other teams from a full season standpoint because if
Okay.
they were, they would have home field.
No.
And
I mean,
just
I
don't
get-
know like if baseball is going to intend and insist on having this long season, then they're going to have the regular season results be more meaningful.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make you could say that the teams that are winning are the better teams, but that's only been proven out in a two game sample size. In 162 games, they're not the better team.
Mm-hmm.
So, do with that what you will. I think it sucks. I think it sucks that, like, for me, a pure example, as someone who does not want the Yankees to get some cheap trip to the World Series, I think it's garbage that the Astros and Orioles got knocked out in the first round in 2 games. That's
Yeah.
just me. That's just me personally. But if you want to tell me that the Tigers and the Royals are better teams, then okay, we'll play that game.
The hotter team wins in baseball. It's baseball, Susan.
Okay, yeah, I'll play along. Now it's the hotter team. Is it the hotter team or is it the better team? Which one is
Well,
it?
I'm saying the hotter team is the
What are
better
you
team,
saying?
no?
What are you saying?
The hotter team is the better team, and if you've been hot since June, if you bring the summer into the fall, the heat is the heat.
So why do they even why
And the-
why
and
even
the
play
team to beat.
162 games? Why don't they
Well,
just
that's
do
a
like
that's
the
a
last
that's a
month of the
totally
season? The team the team with the
A
best
sprint?
record in the last month of the season just goes straight to the straight to the World Series.
yeah. They should maybe they should think about it.
All right. Anyway, Thursday night football, same game parlay picks. You got anything you like, or is it a stay away?
No. Well, I do like because he did me right the last time. Let's see what we got here. I got a combination of Darnell Mooney and Chris Godwin both going up for over 40 yards.
Mooney and Godwin over 40 yards. And which one? And because who did you? Well, Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney. I like Mooney. Show me the Mooney.
All right, so Godwin 40 yards. Oh, but I don't even know if you could use that because that said, at least not on DraftKings. DraftKings, that's minus 650. I think you got to have a max, a minimum odds of minus 500.
No. I think. Well, I think the overall, like, because I did a parlay that had like I know there's a certain amount of legs have to be more than minus whatever 400 or whatever. But since I did more than that, because I also have Mike Evans, so that still allowed me to get the no sweat.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, because they changed it up for the no sweat on DraftKings. They changed it from a minimum odds per leg to just a minimum total same game part. They copied FanDuel on that because FanDuel has been doing that for a minute, like mine plus 400 minimum total odds, and each you could put fucking 30 legs together that adds up to plus 400, and they're all like minus 1500. And like FanDuel will let you do that, but that DraftKings never did. But now they changed it up and they'll let you do that. So
Yeah.
but they change it every time because like for some of the promos they still have it at minus 400. Some of the promos they have it at minus 200. So you just
Yeah.
got to keep an eye on these things because they always got something up their sleeve. Speaking of them having something up their sleeve, do we have a Vegas Ain't Slick pick this evening?
Yes, we do.
Oh boy.
We do. And honestly, it's not gonna be it's very subtle, only because these lines are very tight. I didn't really find anything that was very juicy. Um, but the one that stuck out to me the most was, oh no, that's next week. Hold on. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars who face the Indianapolis Colts this week. And I feel like positivity for the Colts. You know how much better they played when their backup quarterback is in. They got Joe Flacco. We saw what Joe Flacco did last year with the Cleveland Browns, taking them to a playoff game. Um, and you know the Jaguars being favorites while being a putrid team. Uh, I think that it does make sense, but it doesn't really because of just the overall play of the Jacksonville Jaguars to date. But them winning a game, even though obviously every team is due at some point. I know it's a little bit convoluted getting around all of this, but Jacksonville Jaguars winning this over the Indianapolis Colts being a 2.5 point favorite. I think that's the play for my Vegas is not slick, ain't slick in the hood pick of week 5.
So what's the pick?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are the pick you're taking.
Yes.
Okay,
You
got it.
you confused me into confusing it.
How did I confuse you? I said literally nothing.
No,
I
no,
just
no,
asked
no,
a
no, no.
question.
But no, but your confusion makes me makes me double take, and it makes me sit back and be like, oh wait, does that mean I'm falling for it, or you know what I'm saying? Like, because last week I started to like after we finished, I was like, hold on a second, I think Bobby's right, and I'm like doubting
How
myself.
could I be right when how could I be right when I wasn't even making a call or a point or a pick? I don't.
But I'm saying your confusion, the way that you don't know what side I'm like, what side I'm actually picking, and what side means I'm right, is the side that like that shit like confused me, and I'm like, hold on a second.
All right. Well, it's confirmed. Jaguars minus 2.5 is the pick.
Lock it in, lock her up.
And besides that, Um, since there's no word live, we're gonna do it the way we did it week one. We'll do a. We won't do the picks live. I'll put together the show, and we'll have them all together before Sunday morning. Hopefully Saturday. Depends on what your boy has going on the next couple days, but I got a big Liberty closeout game against the Vegas Aces tomorrow. We got a lot of fucking balls in the air. So
what are I bet you do. What how's that series looking?
it's looking like the Liberty need one more game to close it out. They're up 2-0. They
Okay,
won the first two games at home on Sunday.
Yeah,
and
but I feel like that
Tuesday.
was like two. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the games are real spaced out for some reason. It just feels like it. Maybe there's
Yeah,
just
the,
too
the
much going
WNBA
on.
schedule plus their schedule plus the playoff format is it's a little hard to keep up with because the first round they do 2 home games and then a road game. So the higher seed gets the first 2 games. First 2 home games, but if they lose one of those games, then they have to play a do or die game on the road, which is weird. And then they have so they started the second round on Sunday, and they had played Tuesday, and they're off until Friday. And then they're playing again Friday, and then if necessary Sunday, and then if necessary Tuesday again. So kind of a bit of a weird schedule, but they play tomorrow night in Vegas. Vegas, the defending champions. They did all they could to try to steal that game too in New York, but they had some mistakes down the stretch and they couldn't keep it up. But I don't know, man. I still feel like the Aces are a live team, man. They're not going to go down without a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if they win that game 3. But, I mean, I do think that I do have all my futures on, well, not all my futures, but most of my futures on the Liberty to win. I think they're the better team, but Vegas, man, they won back-to-back championships for a reason, so I don't think they're going to
got
go
the
over
pedigree.
quietly. Yeah, you never underestimate the heart of a champion. I forget whose quote that is, but it is a legitimate quote. But anyhow, that's the late night game tomorrow. Tomorrow night, 9:30. I was actually thinking about going up to Mohegan for Game 3 between the Connecticut Sun and the Minnesota Lynx because that series is tied 1-1. That's a good series.
Now, one thing I didn't get real quick, why do the West teams face East teams?
So their playoff format, they don't do East and West for the playoffs. They just do top 8. Top 8 teams make it,
Gotcha.
and the seeds go accordingly. So,
Gotcha.
which is kind of speaking of playoff formats that I don't expect to last very, very many years, much longer. I don't think that the WNBA is going to continue to have that same playoff format either, because, I mean, it actually works out relatively okay for this year, because the Lynx and the Sun are not close neighbors, Minnesota and Connecticut. But you have the Aces in Vegas and the Liberty literally crossing country to do this 5-game series, and you could have very easily had like Connecticut and DC on the other side or something very very short. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like they did that. They set up their playoff format. They've tweaked the playoff format in the last few years as well, but I feel like as the league grows, they're going to continue to. I wouldn't be surprised if they up the first round to 5 games instead of 3 as well. I just feel like as the league grows, there's going to be a lot of changes and advancements coming.
Well, yeah, I mean, the geographics are just like it just doesn't make sense, like because ideally you'd like and as the fan bases grow, like demographics as well, like if you got Connecticut versus Liberty, you know what I'm saying? That like you have rivals, rival fans going to each other's games. You have Phoenix Phoenix and LA and Las Vegas or something like that. You know, it's like it's almost like, yeah, I mean, I know it kind of makes sense doing the standard, 8 versus 1, 2 versus 7, and then, chopping it down from there, but that just doesn't really it doesn't take logistics into account.
Yeah. I think it's also just tough because there's only 12 teams in the league still,
Yeah, yeah, I guess, I mean,
and
because one of the next two teams, there's two more teams that are
yeah, I think after next season,
okay. Gotcha.
and it's kind of tough because there's only 12 teams, and I feel like there are more teams on the East Coast. There's only a handful of teams that play like far out west. It's just Vegas, the Aces, Phoenix, and Seattle are really like
Mm.
the only true West Coast teams.
Hmm.
Besides that, you have Minnesota. It's not really West Coast. You have Minnesota, Connecticut, obviously East Coast. Indiana, that's kind of Midwest. Atlanta, that's East Coast South. Chicago, I consider that. I mean, it's Midwest, but I feel it's further east than it is west.
Hmm.
Dallas, that's kind of middle of the country south. So, but you have Washington, Connecticut, New York, and Atlanta that are all kind of far east teams. But anyway,
Hmm.
anyhow, enough of that talk. We have our Vegas ain't slick pick. I mean, I guess that's really it. There's nothing really else to get into. I guess I'll just the last thing will be, I mean, as I predicted, which was not really a big prediction. I feel like it was obvious. Devontae Adams is going to be a Jet soon.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, no surprises there. Because I watched the Receiver Netflix series.
Yes.
No, all kidding aside, I did feel like that was what kind of really cemented for me that he's not long for the Raiders. Watching that shit, I was like, this dude's out of there. He's not gonna finish the season as a Raider next year. Like really watching, like I had already kind of gotten that vibe. It didn't really make sense, and I feel vindicated now because, like I said, way back when they made that trade originally for Carr, or for him to pair him with Carr, I didn't like the trade then. Like I said before, they should have traded for Amari Cooper and gotten him for a much smaller price tag than they did for Devontae
Like a
Adams.
sixth round pick.
Yeah, it never made any sense to me for them to trade to get Devontae Adams because my thing was my biggest problem with it was even less of a problem than they have now, which was I was like, this is a stupid trade because now you're just committing yourself to however many more years of Derek Carr when I just never felt
Hmm.
like the Derek Carr situation was going to play out well in the Raiders. I just felt like it was time for him to move on. And of course he did. But that just made the trade seem even stupider. Like you go all in. I don't know what the Raiders are doing that they feel like they're trying to get receivers with no quarterback. Like they first did it with
Yeah,
Antonio
it's
Brown.
strange.
And then, even more bizarre, they did it with Devontae Adams, which never made any sense to me. And now, now they're kind of, we'll see what they're able to get back for him. It's not going to be anything close to what they gave, but we shall see. But that's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, just waiting for it to happen. It feels like it's just waiting for it to go down. You know, and
Now,
I don't know if there's some
I
strategy
feel like it makes
involved. If
too much
like
sense. They have to put Hassan Reddick in that trade, right? It just makes, I feel like that makes perfect sense.
it does make sense, but I mean, who knows? I mean, it's like what I've seen. It's like they've been talking about it for a week now. Um, so I don't know. It just seems like there's something that's not as straightforward as like you would think based on how obvious it is that that's where he's going. There's something that's not as straight. Like there must be something other dealings, like in terms of like either getting another team, involved for like some sort of trade or or a contract thing, or like it just seems like there's something else there that if this is as straightforward as it seems, it still hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably a good trade if they're able to include Hassan Reddick in that trade and kind of end that disaster. I feel like that's makes sense for both teams because I feel like not that the Raiders need more defensive linemen, but it just feels like let Antonio Pierce just try to play this football game that
What
he's
he,
trying to
yeah,
do, just trying to
yeah,
win, trying to win every game 3-0. Like go ahead, knock yourself the fuck out, enjoy, and bring Devontae to pair him up with Rodgers for one last hurrah. It all works out for everybody wins in that case, I think.
yes, sir.
But with that being said, that's the end of the show. That's the end of the show. You're gonna have to wait for the final product to get the official picks for the week. Recapping just where we stand as of right now. I did do the brief recap on the early show this week, but just for those who did not catch it, Flex pulled ahead, took the lead, 13 points, hitting the 5-pointer, the 2 and 3 point picks. I was thinking we got to come up with some sort of no one has done it yet, but I know you did it a couple times last year. Had the perfect week where you hit all 3 picks plus the tutty. We
Mhm.
need to that needs to have a name. That needs to have you know what I'm saying? Like we got to come up with some sort of official like title just for that in a single week period. We'll kick around some ideas. Word Life came close, except for he got our first push on his 3-point pick, so he was unable to get the full full 3-pick week, and then I shit the bed. So 13 points, 12 points, 12 and a half points. I'm in last place, but
Yeah, it's a tight one.
I'm making moves this week. I feel good. Feel good about it. Tune in for the next show for the picks for the week. Until then, let's go Mets and let's go Darnell Mooney and who was the other one? And Chris Godwin.
Yes, sir.